Can you actually tidy your mind? Can you keep it tidy? Is that even possible? And what does that even mean? What does it mean to tidy your mind? To tidy your mind is to get to know your mind and to learn how to care for it and help it to relax, help it to feel loved, and help it to feel safe. Once you do that, then you have a tidy mind. If you have a mind that doesn't feel those things, that feels confused all the time, that feels under attack all the time, that feels upset, that feels like everything's a problem, a mind that is not relaxed in any way, shape, or form. If you're a person who says, I can't relax, I don't know how to relax, I try to relax and my mind just goes 90 to nothing, you don't have a tidy mind. You have a mind that has an underlying essence of fear or anxiety or worry or guilt or shame or something related to fear. So it's a messy mind. I use the word tidy because I use the analogy of a house, and it's the same as having a messy house and how a messy house makes you feel. And I use that analogy because it's easy to see, to categorize what your mind is doing, find out the habits of your mind, the tendencies of your mind, is a way to understand your mind. And that is the first step of tidying your mind. You have to understand it. You have to understand something before you can calm it down and relax it. You have to understand what it needs before you can give it what it needs, etc. You get the picture. So the answer is yes, you can tidy your mind. Yes, you can understand it. Yes, you can help it to relax. Yes, you can help it to feel loved. Yes, you can help get its needs met. And that's what tidying your mind is. And I know for myself, I have had years of an untidy mind. I have had a very messy mind. And one of the tendencies of my mind was problem making. And I've talked about that. I may have talked about that in the last audio, I'm not sure. But it was a habit. And I had to break that habit to say, we don't do that anymore. We're not looking for problems. We're not in danger. The reason it got into that habit because it thought it had to protect you. It needed to point out things that were wrong because, you may be hurt by those things or you might be in danger. And all that comes back to a lot of trust. Your little self, as you were growing up, trust was broken. You were hurt. And you decide, well, I better be on guard. I better watch out for us. I better, I must investigate everything. I'm suspicious of everything. I must look into everything like it's going to hurt us. I must warn about this. So that's a problem-making mind. It all comes down to trust and feeling like you're not safe. So when you are working the tidy mind process, and if you haven't done that, I would love for you to come to class with me, and you can look in the description of this video and find out how to come to class and get enrolled in the Tidy Mind course. And you can start to see your own tendencies. You may not have a problem-making habit. You may have some other habit that you need to work on and release. So using the analogy of the tidy mind helps you monitor your mind, see what it's doing, what rooms it's hanging out in, where it's causing problems, what it worries about, what problems of the past that it digs up out of the basement all the time. It helps you see all those things. And then it helps you to begin to understand what your mind is doing, why you feel like you feel, why your emotions are all stirred up all the time, why you live in an emotional world when you really just want to be out living in your mission room and feeling good about life and creating a life that you enjoy, but you can't because this emotional drama your mind is creating for you all the time takes up all of your time, takes up all of your attention. You couldn't possibly focus long enough in your mission room. Your little mind, your little DJ would come pull you out of the mission room and say, yeah, but we're under attack here, and or we're in danger here, and don't you see what this person's doing and that person's doing? It's like, Oh, that's very exhausting. And I lived in that world for so many years. And I know a lot of other activators and connectors. If you don't know your health type, you can find that link also in the descriptions here. But activators and connectors and diplomats also can have a very suspicious mind. We're very suspicious of others' intentions and their motives, and so we have a mind that has a problem making tendency. So being able to see all of those things, understand your mind, helps you then say, you know what, I want to be the caretaker of this mind, or I want to be the, you can even look at it as the housekeeper. You know, this mind keeps making messes here, and first I want to find out why it's making the messes, what rooms it loves to make the messes in. I want to evaluate all of this, and then I want to help it stop making messes, either by breaking a habit or going with it down into the basement and looking at some of those deeper issues and saying, what are you afraid of? Or what need do you have that is not being met? And are you looking outside of yourself to get that need met because no one ever taught you that it's us? Like, I meet that need for you. That's that relationship between you and you is the most important one you'll ever work on. So it's for that little part of you to come to you to meet those needs, to come to you to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel seen, to feel heard. Many times there's a war going on inside between the caretaker or housekeeper and the mind, and they hate each other, and one's just, you're just like, oh, I wish my mind would leave me alone and let me relax. And the mind is like, I just want to feel heard and seen and loved and understood. And I have all these emotional needs and mental needs, and you're not listening to me. And then you're like, oh, I just hate that part of me that keeps me up in the middle of the night. So if you've got that conversation going on, you have a war, you have a conflict going on inside of yourself that needs to be resolved. So the point of this talk today was just to say, yes, you can tidy your mind. I wanted to explain exactly what that meant. Yes, you can, because I did. And I know if I could, I had the messiest mind in the world and had it for years. And it took getting to know my mind. It took going into the basement and relieving some of those fears, undoing the pain of the past, listening to my mind, giving it a voice, helping it to feel heard, finding out what it needed and starting to give that to it each day. And then it starts to trust you. And then you start to trust it that it won't embarrass you by having a outrageous reaction at some point, or doing something that maybe you got shamed for as a kid. You start to trust each other, and that relationship gets stronger, and then you're able to have that mind that stays tidy. And when that mind is broken of those habits that are distracting and energy sucking, when it's broken of those habits and it's healed of those past wounds, it becomes quiet. And then it's not like it just goes away. Then it starts to be used for what it's meant to be used for. And what your mind was intended to be used for was creation, to have great ideas, to make things, to inspire others, to so many things. It depends on, what your passions are, and we don't all have to have the same passions, but your mind was made for that, to go out and enjoy life, to be excited about things. And that may be so far from for some of you right now. Some of you maybe have been in depression for years or such anxiety for years, and here I am talking about excitement and passion and can't wait to jump into something, and you're like, I don't even know. So I just want you to know, if that's where you are, that there you can get there, because I did, because I stayed where you are right now for a very, very long time. And I did this process unknowingly, like I didn't have it all written out for myself, but this is what I was doing all those years, and I did it. But now I have that simplified for you. You don't have to go through years of not even, I didn't even know realize what I was doing, but I finally got there. Now I have a very simple formula for you, like step by step. I will take you step by step over 30 days and show you exactly what to do next to help understand your mind, help relax your mind, help care for your mind, so that your mind can become tidy and you too can start to feel joy and happiness and excitement.